Diddy to do row 4, which is going to be Criteria Map Station, Norfair Super, which is the GT Super. Only one suit, either be a lava dive or a gravity jump, or going and getting space jump or something. Probably going to be a gravity jump because finish in spring ball and ice beams. That's a nice row there that Freyas chose. You want to talk a little about column 4? Diddy's choice for Freyas?
Yes. So essentially, because he hasn't finished in the spring ballroom, it basically forces him to get the gravity suit without the very suit, which just force him to do the Fantoon route early on, which can be a pretty brutal start.
Yeah, getting only one suit, especially when the runners are going to really require gravity, that basically forces either an extended hell run over to Bubble Mountain to get speed, or down to Croc to get grapple, or more likely a CWJ type wrecked ship entry or a new route style wrecked ship entry.
Looks like the race has started.
Yeah, and so now that the runners are underway, they're going to have the Ceres station to think about what they are pairing with each of their given rows or forced rows. So let's see. If I was given row 4, what would I want to do with that? I think, all 15 Norfair power bombs is a nasty one there in row 5. I was looking at column 4 as like something that could potentially be attractive, but yeah, that's kind of nasty.
What about the cross columns?
Yeah, I'm really having trouble with what to pair here with row 4. I'm definitely not a dab savant, but your column 1, your row 5, and your bottom left, top right are all blocked off because of the finish tile conflicting. But yeah, we're going to see some mandatory shock tools. I see some hype in the chat about that, so that is, of course, exciting. And we see Freyas starting off with a nice moonfall there in climb. And going for pitless. So far, so good. And, oh! Almost had it. Just missing that last jump input. And Diddy onto pitless, using a sort of hybrid gap skip technique. I've never seen something quite like that done. It's pretty interesting, and it worked out.
Speaking of finishing in the spring ballroom, both players do have to finish in the spring ballroom, as Freya also has to do column 4, which also includes a spring ballroom.
Yeah, both of the runners are going to have to finish with a shock tool visit. Both runners also getting their first Brinstar Super. Not so much in the way of sort of map-specific pickups here, other than the 15 Norfair Power Bombs and the Norfair Super. I guess Brinstar Reserve, but this is kind of a more sparse card in terms of the heavy pickup. There's not any of those, 10 or 11 E-Tank or 12 minus X, and then X reserve and E-Tanks, things like that can be some of the really long goals that require runners to go through a large part of the map. And so here I think that column 4 does force a lot of traversing the map, because you need to go to Meridia for the map station. You need to fully explore wrecked ship. You need to get back to Meridia. Probably going to do the map station Spring Ballroom at the same time, realistically, but you need to get all the Norfair power bombs. And so that can be a little time consuming, because you have to get all the way down to Power Bombs of Shame in order to do that, and then backtrack all the way back out to Meridia. But yeah, I see Tails Kirby 6 asking when the runners pick their own choices. They, of course, are each prescribed a row, column, or diagonal by their opponent, and then they need to pick one to supplement that they will choose, ideally as a complement, that will, you know, help them complete 2 things or 2 bingos as fast as possible. But they don't need to announce what they're choosing for themselves. It only needs to not conflict with whatever their opponent has given them. And so we see FreyasSpirit going right to Terminator, passing on the Criteria map station. And we'll have to see if Di10Kong goes for that map station or not. Of course, Di10Kong needs the map station, so we'll have to see when they decide to go there. Without any goals that involve destroying statues, there's maybe not a better time than now to go and take care of that. And it looks like, yeah, Diddy is headed down. And FreyasSpirit has gotten the early supers. Diddy got that map station out of the way. Generally, goals kind of come fast and furious at the end. And so it'll look sparse, and then the way I've seen these complete, it's just a rush of goals completing all there, right at the very end. And so it looks like FreyasSpirit is heading up for Spore Spawn, suggesting some choice involving row 1, column 1. And Freyas has made it to the DLC boss, Spore Spawn. I think this is one of the best tracks in this game, so I am always happy to just enjoy the soothing sounds of Spore Spawn.
This is one of the few bosses where we don't get to see, even in 100%. So this is a nice treat to see this guy again.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of Spore Spawn between all of the dab and mini boss RTA. It's been pretty feels good. Freya's collecting some Spore Spawn drops and heading over to get the Spore Spawn supers. Looks like those are in their plan for completing the seed in one way or another. And so I think it's likely they're going for the 30+ supers, that top left, bottom right, to pair to pair with their column 4. And there they are getting charge missiles as well. So if they are trying to route top left, bottom right with column 4, I expect them to get the missiles behind Alpha PBs when they go up Red Tower, to CWJ over, do a full wreck ship exploration, and then probably from there head right down to Norfair.
Since Di10Kong is collecting a lot of missiles, could be most likely be going for a column 2, as column 1 is out of reach due to the conflict at Kraid's room.
Yeah, it would be interesting if both runners also choose that top left, bottom right, but looks like Diddy is not headed up to Spore Spawn. And so Freyas really spiting that CAC attack there, firing a super at the CAC. And oh, this is interesting. FreyasSpirit choosing to go down Red Tower before heading up for Wrecked Ship. I didn't see this one coming. Because they're able to get both suits, though, there's nothing forcing them to go and do early Wrecked Ship. And so it's possible that they just feel that this is, you know, the safer and better option for them to efficiently complete the seed. Or their goal for this. But yeah, it looks like right to Kraid's lair. And so, yeah, they may not even do Wrecked Ship until after they get Speed Booster, for instance. Maybe they'll do an early Lower Norfair. That would be challenging for sure. But I guess not unheard of.
Well, we can definitely direct Freyas going to Norfair and get the speed booster first, since it's going to be difficult to complete the Wrecked Ship without the speed booster.
Yeah. Normally, you'll see a lot of runners sort of just choose to go CWJ to Wrecked Ship and then, you know, suck it up that they don't have speed booster, wall jump up, get the tiles, and just not actually get the reserve tank. But speed booster, of course, will make that faster if FreyasSpirit goes over and gets that. Looks like Di10Kong, in contrast, is going straight up Red Tower. Having a little bit of trouble with the top of Red Tower here, the Ninja Turtles and the wall jumps.
That's it.
Being a little bit of a challenge, always can be. But getting it cleanly there. Nicely done, headed over to Alpha Power Bombs. FreyasSpirit now has Varia Suit. Yeah, thank you to chat for pointing out that yes, Diddy does have the Brinstar Reserve tile. It's a nice safety for going up and doing an early fan tune. But yeah, this category can be a ton to keep track of. Yeah, FreyasSpirit into high jump boots. Passing on the missile pack here, interestingly. I'm not sure which other missile packs they're planning to get. But we'll have to see. So looks like cathedral missiles here. Part of Freya's plan. So I think that is the third missile pack we've seen FreyasSpirit grab. So not being super aggressive, but 50 missiles isn't that hard to just kind of incidentally hit throughout the run. And Diddy setting up for the indoor morph ball turnaround for CWJ. It's FreyasSpirit almost over to Speed Booster.
I believe the CWJ is a two frame perfect jumps.
It depends on whether you're using the in-room setup here that Diddy is, or the through-door setup, where you sort of bonk the door and use that to space your dash. But if it's the indoor setup, there are 2 pixels you can use in X for starting your dash. And then it's a double frame perfect jump. There's a 1-frame window for the first jump and a 1-frame window for the CWJ. If you're using the through-door setup, you have, again, a 1-frame window for the first jump, but then a 2-frame window for the CWJ for whatever reason. And there, Freyas going ahead and getting Speed Booster, making their way back out. Now they will be able to go fast. And headed down for Wave Beam. Don't worry, chat, I am all ready to check off this Wave Beam.
Easily probably the most free middle bingo sheet I've seen.
Yeah. I apologize for any failures of mine to track things properly. Looks like Freyas is up to 6 missile packs, and there's that Wave Beam. And Diddy still fighting the CWJ. This could be, part of why Freyas elected to go down and get Varia and do this Norfair first. Just not wanting to do this kind of obnoxious trick. And Diddy's got the right X pixel, or one of the right X pixels to set up. Looks like they're setting up with the back of the 2 X pixels. That was a good jump. Oh, had the first frame, and then just missed the CWJ frame, unfortunately. And so here we see
there we go,
heading down kind of toward Crocomire.
Very nice. CWJ from him.
Yeah, nailed it. So good job to Diddy, fighting through that CWJ, making his way across the ocean. Oh no! Taking a little bit of a dip in the ocean here. Gonna have to do that again, but at least the CWJ is out of the way. And looks like Freyas, maybe they're going to go for Grapple Beam? They may be going for 4+ E-Tanks? We are just going to have to to see what the runners choose to do. I am far from a dab expert. Oh, Freyas, I think they thought that Croc was dead, but no. But yeah, there is a 4th E-Tank for Freyas. So that fulfills one of their required goals, and of course they also do need to get the power bombs that are down here. And we'll see if they elect to go get Grapple Beam or not. And
do you want going for the Vex ship side missiles?
Mm-hmm. Those are some tiles that are easy to forget when you're fully exploring the wrecked ship. Not that Diddy has to do that, but also, if so inclined. Go ahead.
Also, much safer to grab those missiles, especially without the gravity suit.
Yeah, of course, if you kill Phantoon first and then go to grab them, those platforms and spikes will be active, and the room is much more perilous. I think it's possible to actually do it faster optimally, but I don't know anyone who chooses to do it that way. Freyas has gotten the Croc power bombs and is turning around and heading back out. So I think that they will not be going for the grapple beam there. Not be doing column 1 or row 2 as part of their completion for this dab. Meanwhile, Diddy is sort of the most dangerous part of doing this early wreck ship, aside from, I guess, potentially attic or bowling. But this is a large part of why someone would choose to get that Brainstar Reserve, even if they don't want to use one of the rows that goal is part of.
Missing the super missile. Very well done with Di10Kong.
Yeah, nice Phantoon kill there. Anytime you get through this fight without taking a death in an early wrecked ship situation, I count that as a win. And Freyas, again, actively skipping Spazer, running right by it. And yeah, as we thought, looks like Freyas is going to go back up. Looks like they're going to do wrecked ship now. And then probably go do Lower Norfair and then go to Meridia. So not necessarily the most efficient pathing-wise, but very possibly what they have assessed to be the most efficient speed-wise. And yeah, I see some hype in the chat from Sloters, looking for this race to Spring Ball. That's the race we all wanted to see.
Clearly the best item in the game. Looks like he's only 10 missiles away from getting his 50 missiles.
Yeah, so I see Freyas is commenting on not having actively made the decision to either ice clip or CF clip to Spring Ball by skipping grapple. I was a little curious about that one. I assumed that the plan was for an ice clip, because they're not compelled to skip Ice Beam. But we'll see if they decide to backtrack and go get that Grapple Beam. Freyas also getting the left side wrecked ship missiles on the way in. Yeah, I don't think we'll see either runner do gravity-less Spring Ball. As Sloter cites, it is stupid hard, and I think that that's an understatement. Meanwhile, Freyas getting a really nice speedball entry to Fantoon. Really good job there. It's a pretty tight sort of short hop speedball that Freyas executed. And so the big difference between Fantoon fights here, other than Freyas' ability to use X Factors because of having access to Wave Beam already, is 4 E-Tanks, or really 2 E-Tanks of capacity, including the reserve.
And mention the damage reduction from Varia suit. And
then, exactly, Varia basically doubling Freya's HP, but Freyas getting a very nice 2-round, I think that was a 2-missile into Super Doppler there to close round 2. Very nicely done on that Fantoon kill. And Freyas headed for the map station there. Wrecked ship map station not on the goal, so that's suggesting that maybe fully exploring the wrecked ship is on the menu. And yes, Freyas has to fully explore the wrecked ship. This was an obvious thing that needed to happen. And there it is. There's Canadian Owl rightly chastising me. Lol. Looks like Diddy is going to go for a bomb jump up to the Crateria power bombs, rather than going and coming back up here to get it after having Speed Booster.
Should be column 2 at that point, with the 50 missiles and the Crateria powerbomb.
Yeah, we might see a column 4 and then top left bottom right from Freyas, and a row 4 column 2 from Diddy. Or maybe just row 3 row 4.
Could actually still be an option.
Freyas using a bounce ball strat there in the water on their way over to the E-Tank room in wrecked ship. Gonna have to be sure to get all of the tiles here. It's going to involve falling into the water that you normally don't want to fall into. There's a couple tiles that you just don't normally end up getting, and this is another one of those rooms that would have been easier with grapple, but FreyasSpirit does a nice job handling it. Turn high jump back on, and needing to go a little further left there, getting that last tile, or the second to last one, but the last avoidable tile, really, and fully exploring at least this part of the wreck ship. Just looking at the E-Tank disparity at this point.
Looks like he's going for the X-ray with the power bomb.
Oh yeah. So I'll have to see how Di10Kong does with early X-ray strats. We did see before the race Diddy going for some any percent glitched techniques using some space-time beams. So
very nice D-boost from that.
Yep. Getting the first waiver D-boost, getting some iframes here, taking his health preservation buddy across, and we'll see if that last D-boost... Oh, ooh. Almost getting it. Yeah,
going for the backup bomb drops.
Yep, killing all of the D-boost buddy waivers and going for the bomb jump up, making sure no waivers are going to get in the way this time. I'm waiting with bated breath here on this bomb jump. This can be a dangerous spot, but nicely done by Di10Kong. And Freyas on the reverse addict traversal here, just choosing to tank some damage. Varia and 5 E-tanks gives you a lot of leeway. I'm a little worried about the choice to not go and get some of those tiles there from Freyas. But getting a nice short charge here for bowling. So I'll have to see what Freya's plan is for some of the tiles here. But they will have gravity suit shortly. And I guess Freyas right now does have only one of Varia or gravity. Almost got the gravity skip.
Do you want to take a peek at this spacer? This new X-ray toy?
Yep, not going to keep that skip spacer. Instead, getting the spacer tile there. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Freyas does about some of these tiles over here.
It's a very good chance that D1 is going to grab the speed booster and then followed by the super missile for cleaning up with and the ice beam before I finish up in the spring ball.
Okay, looks like Freyas is going to go back in and give us the old double bowling. Normally, you only see the double bowling if a runner needs that reserve tank location but comes up without speed. But unfortunately, Freyas forgetting about the sort of reserve tank preview space. And I get no, they don't need to double bowling. Never mind, because they don't actually need to go down and get to that spot. They can just take the crumble blocks. This is actually a lot less bad.
The crumble blocks where I believe a lot of casual runners have fallen through. I first took a peek at that missile.
There we go. And Freyas rightly taking the faster way out rather than doing the double bowling. Still not digging those moat missiles though. It's pretty excellent. So I see a slew of questions about double anti-bingo, such as what does anti mean? And what does double anti-bingo mean? What does bingo mean? What is life? And why is there a 5x5 grid on the stream? And so this is all related to what the runners are trying to do with the double anti-bingo category. The runners will each choose a row or column for the other, and then they will have to choose a complementary one for themselves. And so the runners will have to complete 2 rows, columns, or diagonals that may or may not intersect. So yeah, the chat has turned into Super Metroid After Dark. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Di10Kong got Speed Booster though, and Freyas has made it to the Alpha Power Bombs. So I expect now we'll see Freyas make their way down to Lower Norfair, and then head up to complete their goals in finishing in Meridia in the Spring Ballroom, but not before checking in at the Sloater's Refill Room, topping off their health.
Everyone making quick work of the gravity jump at the lava pit.
Yeah, that was a very nice gravity jump there from Diddy.
Probably doing a safety save because of the green gate glitch. "13 missiles, that should definitely be enough to do it, but it'd be a huge time loss if something goes wrong, since it is a tough trick to pull off."
Yeah, usually, you'll get it in the first few, but sometimes you'll be, 20, 22 missiles down the line and just banging your head against the wall because it's a little finicky.
Well, he did in 5, so there are times when that green gate just doesn't ever want to open.
And Freyas going for a speed entry here, missing the short charge. That's a pretty tight short charge there. Very easy to miss, but backing it up nicely with a gravity jump. Very clean gravity jump. And Diddy getting that Norfair super over here at Gold Torizo. Meanwhile, FreyasSpirit also into Lower Norfair we may actually get the rare double anti-bingo high five. These don't happen all that often, but it's entirely possible that we see one here today.
Since they both need the same items, well, we will see him give each other the high five in a few.
Yeah, they don't need all of the same items. There's nothing, at least that I presently understand, that compels Freyas to come over here to GT. And so yeah, dodging the high five narrowly, coming over here just for screw attack to make Lower Norfair a little more palatable. Definitely don't blame them for that choice.
I was going to comment on Freya possibly needing the diagonal one, but then I forgot about the part where the crates room pretty much keeps that from being a viable tile.
Yeah, Freyas is unable to go for that bottom left, top right because of the finish requirement. Both runners are unable to do that, column 1 or row 5. So, those are goals that are locked out by each runner forcing row 4, column 4. I guess the only simultaneous finish goals that runners could get are things like finish in a location plus finish in a shine, spark, or crystal flash goals. Otherwise, the finish goals will be exclusive of one another. And Freya's taking a little bit of an acid bath here. Gonna need to get out of here pretty quickly. They've got plenty of health to work with, but it's a good thing that they picked up all of the screw attack there to keep themselves safe. Thankfully, Fire Fleas is right here. So they'll be able to go over, get an E-Tank, and fill themselves right back up.
Very close call from Freya there.
Yeah, that's one of the really nice things about the design of Lower Norfair, is that there are plenty of energy tanks to grab at really convenient spots after places where it's very reasonable that you would have lost a lot of health. And so the game designers have made it so that even though this is a pretty nasty area, there are a lot of safeties you can choose to take. And Freyas on over to the Power Bombs of Shame location.
Did he kind of missing in the Shine Spark?
Yeah, this is as deep as they'll be required to go into Lower Norfair. They may elect to go farther, but nope, looks like they're headed back out, but gonna go for that speedball swag one more time and getting it on the second try. Nicely done.
And Di10Kong's only one I'm away from finishing the game. Gets a really nice reverse mark ball out.
Yeah, Freyas, meanwhile, still needs to complete column 4, almost done with the Norfair power bombs. On their way to the last one right now. already getting Croc and Shame power bombs. And so for their required column 4, they still need that Spring Ball room and that Meridian Map Station. Quick things to kind of double up with one another. But also needing to complete another row. Probably that Spore Spawn and Batwoon tile. I believe they do have 50 missiles at this point. I'm waiting to see it. I'm not sure about the 30 supers. I'm trying to recall which ones they would have gone to get. But yeah, neither runner taken Grapple Beam, so it looks like Ice Clip Inc. So I'm excited about this. So for anyone not familiar with what Diddy is about to do, there's a frame in the jumping animation of this Puyo that's one frame earlier than that one that the Puyo's frozen in right now, that if the Puyo's jumping onto or off of this top level, and you freeze it, you can perform a jump onto it in a crouching position and then a neutral jump to clip through the ceiling. And so it's a kind of precise trick that can let you get over to Spring Ball or to Shock Tool without having Grapple Beam. There are some consistent setups for this trick that involve abusing the fact that Samus cannot take or fire a shot while taking damage, and that looks like a frame early. Yeah, Diddy's got a frame early there, almost having it that time though. And also abusing the way the screen scroll works in this room. But Diddy's health, the choice of only 2 E-Tanks to this point, definitely presenting a challenge. We may see Diddy need to go and get some health.
Oh, and he gets it. This is a trick that you typically don't see unless you're doing a 100%, and even so, it's only a time save if you get it on the first 2 tries.
Yeah, in 100% it costs, so that route optimally saves around 25 seconds, I think. And so each attempt, if you reset the room, takes about 13. And it looks like Freya's is headed over to the Crab Supers, unfortunately missing the hole in the wall there. A little low that second time, but looks like there they go. Got it the third time.
And Di10Kong gets a solo time of 48 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yep. Di10Kong has realized that he's satisfied all of the goals, and Dun finished in 48:33. GG to Di10Kong. That was very well planned and executed. Meanwhile, Freyas headed up to beach, going to get no beach missiles, but headed over for the supers. I believe that will give them the 30 supers. I, again, believe they do have the 50 missiles goal met. I'm just waiting to see them fill up on missiles. But yeah, it looks like Freyas very close to Yeah, if Freyas is passing on that missile pack there in Beach, both of them, they definitely have the 50 missiles goal. So only Batwoon and Spring Ball left to do for Freyas. But yeah, anyone confused by Diddy's name, that D10, Diddy is part of the French Force collection of players. A number of very nice and very good French Super Metroid players who are part of our community. And using a little bit of a French pun there. Representing French Force very well, taking this one down. And Freyas landing a couple particles on that Batwoon X Factor, and then just staying in the corner, trying to stay safe. Batwoon still can hit pretty hard, but this once Batwoon's down, Freyas will have defeated Spore Spawn and Batwoon. And that should be good. And a Spring Ball room away from completing their double bingo. I'll take a couple seconds here as Freyas is finishing up to remind everyone, if you enjoyed this race, go give the runners a follow. FreyasSpirit and Di10Kong, both really good Super Metroid runners, doing a lot of good work in this tournament and just on their streams in general. And also, if you're enjoying the race, give Speed Gaming 2, 3, 4, 5, all of the Speed Gamings a follow. There will be more tournament matches coming up for the Super Metroid tournament. We have a whole nother round of Swiss to go. And so this round is going to go through Sunday. I think there's about 15-ish matches left to be played this week, and then another, I guess, 23 probably next week. And Freyas right now unable to do a Crystal Flash clip for lack of super missiles, and unable to use Grappling Beam to get to Spring Ball, and also unable to Ice Clip without Ice Beam. So, gonna have to go and either get more supers and nail that Crystal Flash clip. Got 17 shots at it. Or go down and pick up Ice Beam or some other way to get in to Shock Tool's area. And looks like the super farm is the goal. So we might be seeing a Crystal Flash clip here, which would be pretty sweet. But yeah, Speed Gaming, of course, helping us bring all of these sweet races to everyone. I am having a ton of fun so far this tournament, and the matches are just getting better and better. Di10Kong, I believe, now will be moving on to the 3-2 bracket, and this will put Freyas in the 2-3 bracket for week 6. And so both runners, barring pair-up, pair-down scenarios, will be playing other runners of like record, and that's why these matches have been getting closer and closer and just have been so competitive throughout the tournament. It looks like Freyas is headed back over to hit this Crystal Flash clip. I'm excited. This is not an easy trick. It's not all that hard. It's just one we don't see all that often. Gonna have to get their health down to below 50 so they're in Crystal Flash range. And then basically do a bomb jump, lay a power bomb, and do another bomb jump so that they'll Crystal Flash really into the tile. Oh, and the Puyo falling down. This is the Puyo that Freyas is going to use to damage themselves down. Gonna have to be pretty careful to not accidentally screw attack this Puyo, but looks like they're set up to get their health down now. I'm excited to see this. This is a hell of a conclusion. And there we go. The health is good. Frey's picking up that big health drop, saving all of our ears. Pretty excited about that. And that looked a little early for that second bomb. Again, a little early. Yeah, I think Freyas is going just about a frame or two early on this on the second bomb. That looked a little better, almost. Very close. You have to be exactly where exactly where the power bomb was.
There you go.
On the exact frame, and there it is. Frey's nailing it, getting that Crystal Flash clip. And with 8 tries to spare, Freyas will, barring a murder of Shock Tool, be able to complete the goals. So yeah, let's see all of the hype in the chat over that. That was a sick Crystal Flash clip and a very cool way to end this run.
And coming from players with really 2 different paths, the gap, I'd say they've done really well.
Oh, absolutely. Both players did an excellent job this race, both at routing and at execution. And there it is. FreyasSpirit has dunned in second place with an official SRL time of 57 minutes 28 seconds. Finishing in Spring Ballroom, completing their double bingo. GG to both FreyasSpirit and Di10Kong. Really nicely done. And with that, I'll say thank you, Gameaholic, for letting me join you on commentary.
Thanks for commenting on this, Mineko.
Yeah, and thank you, chat, for bringing the hype and for keeping us in check, tracking these dab races. It can be a doozy. I'm certainly no expert at it, so I apologize for the delay in some of the tiles getting illuminated. But I think the important part is the board looks complete at this point. So, thank you for hanging out, spending a late night Super Metroid run with all of us, and I will see y'all next mission.